Hey everyone, I know many of you have been waiting for this one. Do I ground the club behind the ball or do I hover the club behind the ball? You'll notice that for many of you who hit fat shots, the hovering is going to be a really key one for you. And for those of you who hit thin shots, we're going to show you how to ground the club without using the golf club as a crutch. Stay with us, this is going to be awesome. So I've got my trusty grass whip right here to show you how important it is to brush the grass at ground level. I got some nice short grass here and I'm going to let it cut the grass in both directions. And you notice how wonderfully it follows the ground, and I'm just shaving the surface of the ground. So if I were to put this ball in a tee, and then I proceed to simply shave the grass along the ground, the ball will simply fall to the ground. See that? So off the tee goes, the ball just falls to the ground. So if I take my golf club is a grass cutting tool, and I'm just going to let the sole of the club shave grass in that direction. You'll notice when I'm shaving grass in both directions, how the club is cutting the grass in a very specific place before and after the ball. This is really important for you to understand. If I only had one arm and I was cutting grass with just one arm, the center of my machine is my right shoulder socket, and you notice how the club keeps cutting grass right underneath that. So if I want to hit the ball now, well, I'm going to have to come back, move forward, and now when I let it swing, the ball is now in the way of that machine. So if I swing back and through without stopping with both arms together, the center of the machine is right here between my two clavicles, and watch where the club wants to cut. It wants to cut starting from center into the backswing, and it wants to cut starting from center into the follow through. See how cool that is? So I don't even need to figure out where I'm going to let the club cut. If I focus on taking grass clippings from here, cutting through them, well, notice the peak speed of my swing as I cut through is out here. So it's going to start cutting there, continue cutting along the ground, and then come back out well past the ball. So at address, I'm going to show you a very specific drill that's going to allow you to find the bottom of your swing, and then you'll see how important that is, whether you want to, if you're hitting fat and you want to hit it flush, or if you hit it thin and you want to hit it flush. Stay tuned. Next segment is going to be spectacular. So before we put it all together for you, we want to let you know that we've got a wonderful premium channel where you're going to see my life's work and a super one-on-one training program with either myself or Munashe. Moo's specialty is speed training. He's number 70 in the world of long drive. Ball speeds is now 215 miles an hour. It was never like that. I used to be longer than you.
No.
That was a long time ago. So he's going to show you, and as he's been showing Savannah, she's number 8 in the world now. Over 160 miles an hour ball speed for Sav, and we're closing in on 120 miles an hour club head speed. If you want some of that for yourself, you need to get in touch with Moo through our website at wisdomandgolfpremium.com. And if you want to elaborate on your technique first, you come and see me. I've got a beautiful weekly program where we get together once a week and we polish that pearl and we get you to that next level very, very quickly. Okay? Back to our programming. So in one of the drills that we use at Wisdom in Golf is throwing the club. If I wanted to throw the club in that direction, in slow motion, it would look like that. I'm throwing the club over here. If I'm throwing a baseball bat, same thing. Notice if I throw the bat and I don't let go, it's a baseball swing. If I throw the club and I don't let go, it's a golf swing. So throwing the club, go to our Throwing the Club Shawn Clement videos and you're gonna get a beautiful view of that. There's one with Moo. You should see his eyes big like dinner plates. He couldn't believe where the club was traveling towards in his first few throws. So make sure you're in a very safe environment to do that. So if I'm gonna throw the club, I need a reference here. I'm gonna give myself a nice intermediate point. So I'm gonna throw the club toward that academy building. And I'm gonna hover the club right here, right above the ball. And my prediction is from here, if I throw the club, I'm gonna miss the ball. Here we go. Throw the club. So I saw with my eyes exactly where I missed. I missed about that height. So now I'm gonna lower myself to the ball about halfway down the ball. Right now it feels like if I throw the club toward the academy building, I'm gonna top the ball. Let's see. I'm going to the academy building, I'm going to the academy building, going to the academy building. So noticed I put a nice dent in the ground that was perfectly topped. So if I wanted to hit it intentionally thin, so for some of you who tend to hit too much ground, you trying to top the ball is going to be your thin shot. So if you hit it thin while trying to top it as you're throwing the club that way, there's your first indication, okay? So we're going to listen for that. So now if I throw from here, I miss. If I throw from here, I top. If I throw from here, it feels like I'm going to just graze the grass. So I'm throwing the club to the academy building. Throwing the club, throwing the club. Wow. That right there was like a quarter groove thin, if not flush, but it was the thinnest of bacon strips on that contact, and it felt like absolute bliss. So for me, trying to hit it slightly thin, if I was in a fairway bunker, that would have been spectacular. If I'm hitting off a cart path or a rain-soaked fairway, that would have been spectacular. So if I go a little lower, then I should get a deeper divot. Well, if I'm coming out of a divot, there's my ball inside a divot. If I throw, I miss. If I throw, I top. If I throw, I thin. Now it feels like the sole of the club's going to drag along the bottom of the divot if I throw it out there. Okay, let's throw it out there. I'm throwing it out there. Throw it out there. And that was absolutely pasted. Gorgeous little 9-iron here. And notice how the tee that was right up front there, it took off with it. I'm throwing it out there, throw it out there. So my intermediate point, I stayed down so long, and it ends up happening with the legs. And I'll show you an easy drill here in a second that'll blow your mind as far as how easy it is to get solid contact if you throw over there. So if you're trying to hit it thin and you flush it, keep doing that. That means that at address, you should feel like it's hovering slightly above the blades of grass, okay? So, and then if I lower just a bit more, I can get through that divot or take a nice healthy divot if I need to. See where we're going now? So there's a use for both. Let's see what that looks like with the driver now. Before we go to the driver, you're going to see this really easy drill that's going to help you find that right contact. So if I get my intermediate point again, really important. That's right on the right side of the building. So now I'm just going to swing back and through without stopping over the ball. Send it to the building. Send it to the building. I can see where the club is passing. I lower myself a little bit more to top it. Here we go. Send it to the building. See, I didn't have to go very far, did I? Now, if I want that to be thin, I'm going to experience the thin feel, the thin sound, the thin look. So, if I swing back and through, I'm going to miss, I'm going to top, I'm going to thin. Okay, so here we go. Send it to the building, send it to the building, send it to the building. Oh, baby. How good is that? That was like the perfect bacon strip right there in front. And I can't wait to show you the flight on that Rapsodo. That was just amazing. So if I go to my divot now, I'm just going to put the ball inside the divot that I just performed. Send it out there. Send it out there. Oh, look at that. Absolute perfection. Really felt right through the bottom of that divot. So let's look at the driver now. You'll notice the trend on tour, because there's a lot of wind and we need to stay in control, and the drivers are very, very low spin. This Cobra driver is incredibly low spin. I got it at 7.5 degrees right now. I like to launch it high and tee it high, and therefore I'm going to tend to hover the club. But if I tee it low, so notice right now, if I follow the ground, the center, the equator of the ball should be meeting just slightly above the equator of my driver, okay? So in this case, I want to feel the sole of the club graze the grass. There, I can feel just the little wispiness of the blades of grass. So if I go, I'm going to play my little fade here. I'm going to go left edge of that intermediate point. So I'm grounding the club. Now, notice the driver is very wide and round at the back. We're never trying to hit the ball with this. We're trying to sweep the tee into the direction of the target. So in essence, if I have a tee right here, I'm going to take this tee and make it somersault in the direction that I want the ball to go. So I'm doing the same thing here with the tip of this tee. And if I somersault it in that direction, you'll notice the sole of the club is going to drag along the ground back and through. So it's, see how long it dragged along the ground there? Then it's going to come back down, flick the tee in that direction. And there's that beautiful fade starting cell tower, and it's splitting the Academy building right now. So that, for me, I tend to hit those a smidge thin, but even with that, you know, that low contact on the face, these Cobra drivers are still extremely low spin. That'd be about 2,500 RPM is what my guess is. So now if I want to launch it higher, notice I got it on a tee. Now it feels like I can clip the tee on the way up. So notice how I'm hovering the club off the ground. What it makes me feel like is that I'm already in my arc, back and through without stopping. And that arc is tracking through G-forces and creating a nice circle. And I'm just going to use the circle to flick the tee in that direction. So same again, nice fade. There we go. So now I'm hovering off the ground. I'm in my follow through right now. I'm in my backswing. Flick the tee in that direction. Now that started a little left and stayed there. But that was pretty long. That was an extremely well-struck shot and will have very, very low spin, and those are the ones that go forever. So let's try one more time. Now I'm in place, so if I swing back and through, I see where it's passing. Can you see that blur? I can see it as well. I can see that the low point is there and I'm catching the tip of the tee on the way up. So notice where I'm starting it from. So now from there it's going to go up, then back down, then back up again through the tip of the tee to make it somersault. So, whew. A bigger cut, right side, right on the right side of the building. The wind is holding it nicely, but that felt really good. That probably had a very nice carry to it. So finally, you can start it on the ground. You just need to start it on the ground in a place where you're going to catch it on the way up. This is what you don't want to do. If I started from here grounded, and my eyes are on the ball and I'm facing the ball, it's going to come up from here, come back down under the ball, pop fly, low left. You know, my launch angle is going to suffer. I'm going to have a negative angle of attack instead of here where I got a positive angle of attack, clipping the tee on the way up and making it somersault toward the target. Okay? So there's how you want to benefit from, you know, grounding the club versus hovering the club. And you got a very specific task to go in that direction. All right? All the best. We'll see you next week.